Hello, how are you? My name is Gemma and welcome to my Devon Diary. Well, hello dear diary. Bit of a different episode for you this week. It is Monday the 4th of November. It is coming up to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it is starting to get dark. And I've got, as I said, a bit of a different episode for you this week. Rather than sitting and chatting to you for half an hour and filling things in, the last week was so maniacally busy that I've decided to vlog it instead. So I've taken my camera along with me and done various bits of filming and various bits of chatting to the camera. So that is what you're going to see today, shortly. There's a lot that I've been up to this week. It's been half-term holidays. We've been off of school. There's been home projects. There's been lots and lots of crafting for my son's birthday. There's been some sewing, some knitting. I also helped a vendor at Stitch Fest Southwest this year, which was wonderful. I helped a Wivy Weaver Yarn Alchemy on the Saturday of the show. And so I will also be able to take you around a yarn show as well and share some of the bits and bobs with you. But before we dive into it, I thought, because not everyone kind of necessarily is here for the cake making, the family life stuff, I thought I would share with you what I have made over the past week or so. With the exception of the birthday cake, I'm actually going to wait and do that at the end of that vlog. The first thing I made was, well, I say first thing, I finished them at 1 o'clock on Sunday morning and the party was 11:30 Sunday morning, were 8 little party bags. So I used, this was what's left over from Robin's pyjamas. You must be sick to the back teeth of seeing this fabric by now, but this is it. It's all used up. It is gone. It is finished. It is finished. Anyway, for the Makaton speakers. I made a really simple party bag. Now, I would have made these even more simply, but I've started watching The Last Homely House. I've dipped in and out of Kate's videos over the years. Oh gosh, I didn't trim any ends off on this one. I'm really glad that this one didn't go with a child. Who were? She actually did French seams in party bags recently for her granddaughter, I want to say. And I just thought it was so nice and effective. So I have done the same. There we are. I have done nice. So you've got no raw edges visible on here. And that's it really. Little rectangles of fabric that I sewed together. I ended up having to, so I did buy some of this woven tape. God, the lighting is horrendous in here this evening, I'm sorry. I did buy some of this woven tape and I lost a metre of it. I bought 2 metres of it, and the girl in Hobbycraft did something really peculiar. Rather than measuring out 2 metres and snipping, she measured out a metre and snipped and measured out a metre and snipped, which was really weird. As it happened, that didn't matter particularly because I only needed short lengths of this for the handles. But had I required 2 continuous metres, it might have been a problem. I didn't even notice until I got home. But as it happened for me, I managed to lose one of the metres. Gone, disappeared. So I had to actually fashion some handles from offcuts of fabric. So I stitched them into a tube inside out and then pulled them inside out and did it that way. It's just a shame. I would have liked them to have all looked the same, but they were all going to different children. I don't think the children particularly minded. They had their little ghosties in, their little party hats. Do I have one here? No, I'm not sure what's happened to it, but they had their little party hats and they had their cake. So that was fine. So I made 8 of these and I'm quite proud. But eco-friendly. And you never know, the children may use them for varying things, or they may decide to put them in a charity bag and they'll bring someone else joy. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But they've got their own little party bags to take home. And the children seemed really pleased with them, and I was really pleased with how they turned out. The next thing is very nearly a finished object. I've actually only got to sew it together, so I might even be able to do that and put a picture in of this as I'm speaking now. So hopefully, there's a picture. And editing Gemma's just not got her head in her hands going, oh, you idiot, why did you do this? This, as I mentioned, I was helping out at Wivy Weaver's stand on Saturday at Stitch Fest Southwest. And when you are helping out, at a yarn dyer's stall or any maker's stall, you want to be representing what they're doing. So obviously I had a day standing around at a stall. It was perfectly feasible that I could knit. And so what I did was I bought one of her kits using her chunky hand-dyed superwash merino yarn, and I proceeded to knit the kit while I was there. I had my wrist bag that you've seen, I now can't lay hands on it, but you've seen it lots, actually made by Bellica Yarns, who was also there, which was amazing. I do need more wrist bags in my life. But anyway, so I was stood there with that, but knitting on this, and everyone was watching, and it was a great conversation starter because, yes, this is a great pattern for beginners. Yes, doesn't this hand-dyed yarn turn out beautifully? Yes, you can knit on the go, and these are circular needles, wonderful. And what it is it's going to be a cowl. So at the moment, it's a strip of moss stitch fabric. Now I think moss stitch might be called seed stitch in America. I'm not sure. But anyway, I think that's the case. And it's so you do one by one, knit one, purl one, but you offset it. So rather than having knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, and then on the other side mirror it, so you've got the knits lining up and the purls lining up, so you've got rib, you're offsetting it so you get this texture. It's really rather beautiful. There are two ways of seaming this together. The simple way would be the 3 needle bind off, where I could just turn it into a bog standard cowl. The way I would like to do it is you do something slightly complicated, folding it in half and seaming it while it's folded in half, and then when you unfold it, it creates this pretty twist. I don't yet know how to do it. Why do my animals have to groan really loudly every time I sit down to record? They can be sleeping quite happily, not making a sound. As soon as I record, their slurping starts, and it's really off-putting. Magnus, settle down, baby. You good boy. Oh dear. Anyway, the kit was ridiculously cheap because she's retiring as well. Yeah, I really, really like it. Oh, he's gone to sleep again now. What a good boy. What a good boy. The next thing I did, and again, these are now on my husband's feet, so I can't show the blockers, but I actually bought from Blots, which is a learn to dye company. They do bits for dyers, for makers, etc. £5 each. It is quite thin stuff. I don't know how well they're going to last, but I think they're very pretty, and I needed them, and I haven't seen them anywhere else, and I'd much rather buy them from an independent company than anywhere else. So here we go. So we've got some alpacas. And that's it really. I haven't done any other making in the fibre arts for the entire week. I've done a little bit of knitting here and there. I did a little bit of sock knitting for Jude. I did cave in the end, and I bought from Dina's House of Crafts at the show. I bought my first set of Licker needles. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. There seems to be universal confusion, but I'm pretty sure it's Licker needles. So I bought the tips and the cables in 3.5mm so that I can do Jude socks in Magic Loop, because I don't like the fabric and I don't like using the DPNs. I really, really don't. They're not for everybody. Some people love them. I jokingly call them demon sticks. They're just, ugh. They're not for me. Everyone's got a different way of making and a different way that works for them. And 2 circulars on Magic Loop are definitely my preferred for knitting in the round of knitting socks. So I'm actually going to rip those out and restart, because my gauge will change between the DPNs and the Magic Loop, although the gauge is probably still going to be quite loose for the Regia because it's a 6-ply yarn rather than a DK is traditionally an 8-ply, so I think it's slightly finer than a DK, although as we know plis don't really mean anything anymore. But Jude likes the looser texture for boot socks. He said actually what he'd like to do with them is wear them over his regular socks. So this is socks and shoes, so he's going to wear them almost like shoes over his regular socks while he's stomping about in his rural Scottish idyll, as it is becoming. But yeah, so yeah, look out for those in future weeks on Jude's video, picking out the top of his boots, and you'll find out when I eventually do them for him. I did actually manage to send him another pair of socks that I'd already knit earlier in the year that I was holding on till he'd moved and settled, because he had so much to pack. Even another pair of socks would have been too much. So he has had, hopefully they've arrived now, a pair of socks that I did earlier in the year for his birthday. But yeah, that's it for crafting things. So I'm going to leave you there. My voice might pop in over some bits because I didn't talk about everything. It wasn't always possible to record voice when I was vlogging. It was just film sometimes. But other than that, I will see you next time. I hope you enjoy this slightly different video from me. It's going to be a regular episode next time, although I do also have plans to do a special video where I go through all my works in progress, get them all out, have a really good look at them and think, is this really going to happen? Or do I just say goodbye and free myself of the obligation? There are so many projects I want to make, so many. And the more I start, the more these ones languish. Something's got to give. Talking about giving, my darling little toddler has woken up from his nap. So it's time for me to go and play. I don't know what I'm going to play yet. Oh, hang on. Let me introduce you to someone. This is Tipsy, the giant inflatable cactus that is approximately the same height as the great-great-aunt who bought it for my son for his birthday. Yeah. This is what life has come to. Bye. Say goodbye, Tipsy. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. Good morning. It is Wednesday the 30th of October, as you can hear from my voice. I've well and truly got Robin's cold. I've got the overhead light on and I'm not really sure what the quality of the video is going to be. It does tend to go quite grainy in artificial light, but I'm doing this vlog style. So it is 8:15. As you can see, I am fully dressed, made up, etc. I'm not doing anything special. I am studying for my teacher training course. I've got a couple of seminars to catch up on and some assignments to do as well. But the reason I'm fully dressed and made up like this is because years ago, I started following someone called the Fly Lady. So I started following this woman called the Fly Lady. She's Martha Silly or Keely. I've never heard her say her name out loud. One of the first things she says, apart from wash up before you go to bed and shine your sink the night before, is get dressed to shoes. Now, we are a shoes off household. I will not wear shoes. I will not buy lace up shoes just to wear in the house. I'm not doing that. But I do subscribe to the kind of getting dressed and getting in the work sort of mind. If you're dressed for work, if you've taken the time to brush your hair, to wash your face, to put your makeup on, pick out an outfit that makes you feel good, you are more productive, and I find that works for me. So I'm now going to sit at the computer and watch this 2.5 hour seminar and try and catch up with all my work while Alan takes Robin swimming. They've gone swimming this morning. I'd have loved to have gone, but we're at that stage where with Alan's masters and my teacher training, we're having to kind of tag team. So rather than have dedicated family days today and tomorrow, Alan's doing today with the swimming, and then I've got my hospital appointment for my hip this afternoon, which you don't need to know about. And then tomorrow, so I can study, and then tomorrow I'm taking Robin to the local Halloween disco. So Alan can study, and then in the evening we'll meet up and we'll do trick-or-treating together. Friday, Alan's working. I've got to try and get Robin's cakes made. My week is looking absolutely crazy. It's the first time I've done, well, it's not the first cake I've made for Robin, but it's the first time I've got like a party deadline like this. I don't know, it's a lot. So I've got some bits to show you. If I can prop you up somewhere, I will show you. Hang on. Where can I prop you? I haven't got my tripod up here because, you know, why would I have my tripod? Can I put you in the bookcase? There we go. I completely forgot about this. So you are currently being held up by Deadpool. So there we are. I've ruined my husband's display in his new office. So what can I show you? So first of all, the devil sticks haven't actually progressed any further. I hate knitting on them. I'm also not enjoying the fabric I'm getting for these socks. It seems quite loose and open. Now Reggie's 6-ply, I'm wondering if it is a little bit thinner than a DK, true DK weight. So I'm tempted to go down to a 3, but what I'm going to do first of all, and see if it helps, is I'm going to nick the new tips that I bought yesterday for the chime cardigan and cast on these socks again and see how much of these socks I can get done during the seminar, because I do want Jude to have them. Like many grown-ups, it's like, oh, you know, my birthday's a non-event. I'm like, well, you still matter. This is in no particular order, it's just the order I'm grabbing things out the bag. I have this fabric to make party bags for my son. So this, I should get 4 party bags out of this. So I need to find another fat quarter of a similar ilk to make the other 4 party bags from. But I should get 4 out of this without any trouble. I think, let's see, it'll be about that size party bag, which is plenty big enough for these little ghosties I've got going in. So I need to iron those and make those this week as well. You see the stress mounting. Went to Teignmouth yesterday with Robin. He absolutely loves the play park there. It's his favourite one, mostly because it sounds like Tidmouth, and Tidmouth Sheds is the sheds in Thomas the Tank Engine. So he loves it, but it's also got a cool kiddies play park, and he loves the kind of, they've got one of those bounce pads in the ground, so kind of like a trampoline, but not quite. It's quite a big one as well. It's a really good one. So he spends most of his time on there, and I spend most of my time refereeing and saying, right, Robin, let this little person have a go now. Oh, look, aren't they doing good bouncing? Isn't it fun to watch our friends? And it went quite well, actually. And yeah, he shared nicely, and everyone had fun. So I did quite a bit of the sock. I finished the heel flap, I did the heel turn, and I've picked up for the gusset and started the gusset decreases. I'm tempted to carry on working on this now during the seminar, but I think what I really want to do is crack on with Jude's sock. The final thing I've got to show you that I finished last night is I finished the front of the chime cardigan, and I have measured this up against my son, and it is a good fit. It's for my friend's grandson, who was born on the exact same day as Robin, so he's turning 3 next week as well. So yeah, so it's a bit scary because I'm kind of self-grading this. It's an existing pattern by Martin Story, who's a really good designer, but it only goes up to 9 to 12 months. My friend saw this last year when the boys were already nearly 2. And he saw Robin's one that he'd grown out of, and he wanted the exact same cardigan in the exact same yarn with the exact same buttons, as is often the way. If anyone works in a yarn shop will know this. They often come in and say, oh, I don't want to knit that jumper because it's yellow, and trying to explain to them that you can change the colours around can be quite challenging, but that's fine. Quite often they see something, they want it exactly as they see it. So I bought the yarn. It's Rowan Cotton Soft DK. No, it's Rowan Summerlight DK. And I've taken the pattern, cross-referenced it with a Serdar pattern that's a raglan as well, to get the idea roughly of dimensions. And then I've tried to self-grade, and I've been measuring it up against my son, and I really, really hope that Henry isn't much bigger than him. Robin is tall, so if it fits him on the length, which it will, then it should be absolutely fine for Henry. So those needles are now free, so I'm going to grab them out of my bag and cast on Jude's socks again on Magic Loop and see if I can get those done. It's kind of, both of them are just as important to get finished, both of them on a deadline, but I think the socks I can get more done of when I'm doing this, really, when I'm watching this. The socks will be easier to go round and round on, I think. I might end up casting on the other bit of the cardigan. I don't know. We'll see. Note on the needles, these are Knit Pro Basics Birch. I've never used these ones. I don't know why. I think there's an element of snobbery. I think because they're called Basics and they remind me so much of the old bamboo needles, I couldn't bring myself to try them and use them, which isn't particularly fair. And also, I think they've improved drastically over the years. So when I took over the yarn shop, there was a lot of the basic stock still there. and I'm pretty sure they were bamboo, and I tried them and they were awful. But these are really nice. These were the tips that Knit Bits in Teignmouth stock. They have the swivel cables, and they have some of the swivel fixed circulars, but none of them were long enough. So anyway, these were the ones I bought, and I trust Jan. She wouldn't stock something that was naff. And I'm glad I bought them because I found them absolutely fine to knit with. They are different, obviously, to the Symphonies and to the Zings and to the out of breath and to the Knitter's Pride ones that Jude gave me that were his mum Mary's. But they're lovely. They're lovely to use. I have no problem with them. So yeah, so inexpensive. I think they were $3.75. Really inexpensive for the tips. Definitely the cheapest of any of them. Yeah, I'm quite happy with those, really. So yeah, I'm gonna crack on now and stop saying so yeah every 2 seconds. We'll see how I get on. Hello again, I'm just checking in. It is 2 hours later, and this is my progress. As you can see, I did not cast on the sock in the end. I've opted to continue working on the cardigan. It's my hope that I can get the other front of the cardigan done before I have to go out to the hospital this afternoon, but actually I don't think that's realistic. So what I might do is find another cable, unscrew the tips, cast the sock on so I could take that with me, because the sock is infinitely more portable than this. But I did really want to get this going, and also I felt that just doing garter stitch, which is what this is, would be easier for me to pick up and drop as I need to make notes during my conference, during my training session. It doesn't look like I've achieved very much, but obviously I've been making notes. I had about half an hour or so ago, I stopped and wrote my assignment and got that submitted. So yeah, it's not been 2 hours continuous work, clearly, but I'm very happy that I've broken the back of this and I've got it done. I've got to do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 stripes, and I'm just on the third one now. But it's progress. I'm finding the training really interesting. Early years is very, very different to secondary education, but a lot of my instincts and what I feel is right appear to be right. So we've been looking at attachment theory today, and meeting needs and comfort and secure relationships and all that sort of thing. And in my gut, if I have a 3-year-old come up to me feeling a bit sad and needing a cuddle, I'm going to give that 3-year-old a cuddle, you know? If someone's feeling a bit tired and just wants to snuggle up and read a story, that's fine. You can snuggle up and read a story. If someone's struggling to regulate themselves and is doing that whining meltdown thing, you know, providing that comfort and that nurturing is what we need to do. So it's been really good, because so far I've been going a lot on my instincts. Obviously I'm learning a lot from the practitioners that I'm working with. They're amazing. But yeah, it's really reassuring to know that actually maybe I do know what I'm doing. Maybe I do have a natural ability to do this. Yeah, it's exciting. It's very, very different. And it's fascinating watching the training. Some of it I've come across before, because I did a course, Introduction to Neuroscience, in the early years, looking at how the brain develops and how it works, which I smashed, by the way. And as part of my research, I watched a still face, I think it was called the still face, on YouTube, and it showed a mum with the baby in the high chair. Baby was possibly coming up for a year, maybe, and initially the mum had an animated face, was echoing back the babbles and coos that the baby was doing, was engaging with the toys, and then they had her stop and just be completely blank-faced. Blank-faced, that's it, the blank-face experiment. And you saw the baby start to get a bit more sort of like, hang on, mum, hello, and then in the end reaching out and desperately trying everything that they could to get a reaction, to get some engagement back from the mum. It's a really, really tough one to watch, but it's fascinating to see the power of your face and how that can make people feel. They've got an updated one now that they shared on my training session that I hadn't seen before, and it was the mobile phone. So the mum was playing with the baby in the bouncer. It was a younger baby, probably only about 3-4 months old max. And she was playing with the baby, cooing, doing all of that, engaging, laughing, all that echoing that we talk about. And then her phone went off and she picked up her phone and she looked at her phone and she carried on looking at her phone with a completely blank face, not interacting with the baby. And the baby, after a while, did start to get quite distressed because of this blank face. And it's just it's the power of technology and distractions. And I'm guilty of this. Robin was going through a bit of a wobbly time, and I did say to Alan, I said, actually, I think when he's around we need to not pick up our phones. We need to try and not pick them up at all. It's difficult because we both work and we both have other things to deal with and etc. But yeah, that was really interesting, and being mindful of just how much from that meaningful interaction technology takes. Yeah, there we are. I found it really interesting. So Robin and Alan are on their way back from swimming. Robin absolutely smashed it. He had a great time. And then right at the end, he slipped in the change room and landed on his bum. So he's feeling a bit sore. So I've not got long now until they get home. I'm going to try and finish this and see how much more I can get done of that. But next plan is we're going to do our pumpkin carving. So we're going to try that together.
Yeah. Right. Do.
It's Halloween!
It's Halloween!
It's bedtime!
It's bedtime, is it? Why? What makes you say it's bedtime?
The ghost.
The ghosts! Oh. And the ghost is telling you it's your bedtime?
Yeah.
Well, I was saying, not tonight, ghosts. Not yet. We've got
Tonight, ghost. We got to finish my pumpkin.
That's right!
Quite heavy.
It just blew across the room, didn't it?
Yeah.
Doing. It went doing.
We're doing that.
Did it go pumpkin seeds? Did it go doing?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the hiccups in a minute. There we go.
Here's
Here's your sister's candle, and hopefully it's not setting fire to the inside of the pumpkin.
Hang on.
Size on my arm, but right now it's quite slender, so it's a bit concerning. But I've done 2 out of the 3 before and afters that I've ever really had. With my knits, I think a lot of the time, a whole new way, like understand why you connected with certain characters in blocking, but I really do hope that the sleeve kind of relaxes and stretches out in blocking. I'm currently kind of blocking my anchor team. It's really traumatizing. I have been giving my So time for a little update. I hadn't realised I wasn't actually filming any of that. I thought I was just letting it roll while I was doing the prep work. But this is the first bag. Well, it's a work in progress of the first bag. And what I'm attempting to do is to do French seams to give it a nice finish. So what I've done is I've opted for just one handle. It's got a bit twisted. It's not, oh, there we go. So I've opted for one handle. As you can see, it's slightly off to one side. I'm going to say that's deliberate. I'm hoping that when I finish this, it will no longer be off to one side, because what I've just done, as you might be able to see, is a line of stitching along here on the right side and at the bottom on the right side. What I've done for the top is I've tucked it, joined it underneath, rolled it again, and then I've folded that back up and caught it down. This is actually leftover fabric from my son's pyjamas. It suddenly occurred to me that it's dinosaurs and I have some left, and I might get a couple of bags out of it. So the plan now is for me to turn it the right way in, give it a little press, and then do a seam along here, this side. It's got to be this side, not this side, and a seam along the bottom. And then it will have nice, neat insides as well as hopefully nice, neat outsides. Okay, so I actually did the last bit while chatting to my husband, so I didn't have the camera on again. But here it is in all its glory, you know what I mean. I'm just going to snip the last bits. Where is it? There we go. Ta-da! Doesn't look like much, does it, really? It's quite humble, this little bag. But I'm really pleased. And if you peep inside, you can see these nice soft seams, no rough edges. I'm actually really chuffed with that. Not chuffed enough to stay up and carry on working on them. I think I need to go and take some painkillers and rest now, because it's been a lot for my hip today. Yeah. Not sure what we're going to do now. It's 9 o'clock. I'm tired enough for it to be bedtime. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow, probably, for more crafty adventures. And yeah, hopefully I'll get some footage of all of these when they're finished to share with you. And yeah, see you then.
You can make it.
Right.
We got no whiskers.
Okay.
There we go.
Think so. I think that's
Yeah,
as
I'm not
cat
sure
as
what's
we're gonna
going on
get.
with my cat nose though. Like, why is it all the way up there?
Well, wipe it off then.
Yeah, I look about how I feel. So, it's Friday night, 1st of November, and I have made 4 party bags, and I've made 4 tiers of a cake. Realistically, I've got absolutely no idea how I'm going to turn into a ghost. No, that's not entirely true. I have a semblance of an idea. I have a rough inkling of what I might need to do. And so what I've got to do now is do the crumb coat, which is basically a thin layer of buttercream that will, that's what it says on the tin, really catches the crumbs and keeps your icing nice and clean and smooth. And it also stops the cake going dry, because you don't want a dry cake, do you? So I need to set the layers. I've got dowels to cut and put in as well. I've got to do it on the board. I've got to think about how I'm going to turn it into a ghost. It's Friday night, the party's Sunday. At the end of the day, it's children. No one's going to judge this cake. If it looks a little bit like a ghost, then I'm onto a winner. And since when did ghosts look good anyway? They're dead. They're going to look like poop. Not that I'm going to make a cake that looks like poop. We're going to go and deal with this cake. This should dry nicely come the morning. Oh, whoa, that's scary. That is scary. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. No voice, because today I was at Stitchfest Southwest. It's my first time attending the show. I went, I was planning on going as a visitor. I was planning on going as a visitor. Ended up going as a booth buddy to Wivy Weaver. I've been calling her Wivy Weaver for months. Turns out it's Wivy Weaver, but there we are. She's retiring tomorrow, so I'm now going to proceed to get her name right for the rest of her career, which is very short, but easily achievable goals. I'm here for that. Yeah, I went as a bit of a booth buddy to help her out, and it was fab. It was really fab. I'm glad I was there. I proved fairly useful, I think, which is always good. Got to catch up with some vendor pals I haven't seen in ages. So much catching up to do. But anyway, hence the slightly haggard, bedraggled, don't know where to look at the camera look with the reflection of me in the window, scaring the neighbours. I think they must be used to me doing this by now. No one's asked any questions. I think they've just accepted that, you know, the weird girl from up north does weird things, because anywhere above Exeter is up north. Anyway, so I made this today. Isn't that gorgeous? It's almost completely finished. It's a strip of moss stitch, which is going to become a twisted cowl, which will be a Christmas present. Because obviously, when you're working on someone's booth at a show, you need to really be using their yarn. You can't really be using other yarn or other projects. I mean, you can, some people do, but I don't think it's right. Heather tried giving me this, so I went above her to her assistant and paid. Isn't it beautiful? It's her hand-dyed yarn, and I just love the way the colours go. And it's so soft. It's going to be really hard to give this away for Christmas, but that was my justification for buying it. So a Christmas present it is. That's almost finished. I've got some other bits, but I'll probably show them to you later on. Got some sock blockers. They look absolutely ginormous. These feet are the size of my head. These are UK 8 to 10, so they will do for blocking Jude's socks and my husband's socks and my dad's socks properly. They had kiddies ones from size 12 to 2, but Robin's only a size 7, so I figured I'd wait and maybe get those later if he's still wearing hand-knit socks, because at the moment he ain't putting those on his feet. But there we are. So it's approximately the size of my head. And what else? I'm sure I got something else. Shall I just show you now? I'm just showing you now. Okay. I visited a Robin with a Y. Purchased a pom-pom. To be fair, I purchased 2 pom-poms. Actually, I'm not hating this lighting. This one's a bit smaller, a bit more demure, perhaps. We used to stock her pom-poms at the yarn dispensary, but I didn't actually... Is there anything else I got? No, I think that was it. That was it. Wasn't that good? My ironing in the background. I'm saying my ironing. My husband does the ironing. There we are. I'll do some ironing if I'm ironing for sewing. Anyway, so great day. Absolutely shattered. Would quite happily go to bed, but I have things to do. And I am terrified, dear diary. I am terrified. Because today, dear diary, I am finishing decorating this beast. Not the cauliflower, the cake. And this energy may well be needed by the time I'm finished. So I'm terrified because I have never done this before. I'm doing a few things in this that I have never done before. But we're just going to give it a go and see. Oh, criminal. Oh, the lighting is terrible. We're just going to give it a go and see what happens. I'm going to get off of this screen before people accuse me of trying to carry on Halloween into November. And yeah, I'll do a bit of filming so you can see the process. And I'll catch up with you in the daylight. See you soon. Okay, it is, I think, hang on, yeah, it's 1 a.m. It's 1 a.m. I have an R2D2 droid in the fridge, not a ghost. I have a droid at the moment. Oh my god, you can see my makeup's all wrong. Never mind. But I have 8 finished party bags, which means I have one for each child. There we go. So we've got 2 dinosaur ones, 2 safari ones, 2 triceratops ones, and 2 Peter Pan ones. So I've made 8 party bags. So yeah, one, as I said, one for each child. And yeah, just got to pack the. I've got ice the cake tomorrow, but I could do that in the morning. The party is not until 11:30, which for us is like 5 hours into our day. So it's perfectly feasible and reasonable that I'd be able to do that tomorrow. So I think we can get there like 15-20 minutes before. So we aim to get there for 11. My in-laws are coming to get the cake, I think. Yeah, don't know. Yeah, I'm going to go to bed because my son is going to have me up in 5 hours and I'm not going to be fit for anything. But I will see you tomorrow for party time. Good morning. It is just before 9 o'clock on party day. I managed to make the rest of the party bags last night, but I didn't ice the cake. So I'm currently on a mad mission to get this cake flat iced. I've simplified my design. I think actually on reflection, making the cake look like the mini boos that Maddie made for the party bags will be the best idea. So here we go. And we're done. We're done. We're back. We've been back for a little while, actually, but we've only really just come to. As you can hear from my voice, it's completely gone. No voice whatsoever. But yeah, it was great. He had a great time. The cake went down really well. I have none of it left. I thought I'd made a cake big enough for the party and for taking some to work on Tuesday, but apparently not. So it's going to be a cupcake sort of day tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to make them or if I'm just going to buy them to take little bits in for his friends at preschool on Tuesday. I think I might just buy them. I'm feeling a bit knackered now. So it's Sunday afternoon. I have 1, 2, 3 furry animals beside me. You just see an orange ear here, I think. Oh, he's gone. There's another floof here. There you go. You can just see the dog's butt there. So yeah, I've unashamedly got my jeans off, put the PJs on, which I never do. I'm on the sofa. I've got Kristen of Vullenvine Yarns 10th anniversary episode up on the TV ready to go. I've got some knitting. I'm just going to chill. Nice cozy Sunday at home.
Because Wool and Vine Yarns, my hand-dyed yarn company, is celebrating 10 years. It's been 10 years since I went full-time with my business,